Welcome to Dugout Chatter. We are going to see how America's pastime has shaped generations of young men and women into the determined people they are today.
Now, this episode is going to be a bit of a different one. So around 2018, 2019, I first started Dugout Chatter, and I was doing it alongside one of the guys I played high school ball with. His name's Jacob Williams. And I just got into videography, and I was done playing baseball, so I wanted to start a baseball podcast. So that was kind of the idea for it back in the day. It was just more like, I guess, a video podcast. And around that time, I literally just hopped in my car one day and drove up to St. Louis from like South Florida to do a mini doc on one of my friends. His name is Braxton Stowe. I met him when I was about 14 years old, and he came over to America from Bermuda around the time he was like about 12 or 13 years old to play baseball. So his story was really fascinating. He was a hell of a ball player. I drove up to the University of St. Louis to watch him play and then saw a Cardinals game. It was like baseball heaven. All I did was watch college baseball and Major League Baseball for a few days and did a mini doc on one of my best friends. So anyway, this episode is going to be a deep dive into the vault of the original days of Dugout Chatter. So without any further ado, enjoy the episode.
And welcome back to Dugout Chatter. We're all the way here in St. Louis, Missouri with my good friend Braxton Stowe and former high school teammate. So Braxton, how you doing today?
Doing well, man.
So why don't you start off telling us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a junior first baseman, and yeah.
All right, cool. So why don't you give us a little bit of background about how you ended up here playing baseball in St. Louis?
So I always had a dream as a little kid back home in Bermuda to play pro ball one day. And so when I was 10, 11 years old, my parents and I made the decision for me to play baseball in Florida. So through summer camps and through talking to coaches around that time, I ended up going to play baseball at Trinity Christian Academy, my 8th grade and all throughout high school. And then from there, played summer ball and then ended up getting a scholarship to come play here.
That's awesome, man. And so what was that decision like as a kid? What kind of made you decide at that early of an age that you'd want to come play baseball in the United States from Bermuda?
It was just about having a dream and my parents believing in that dream and say, hey, you know what, if our kid wants to do that, then, just able to, was lucky enough to have parents to believe in me and let me do that.
Yeah, that's really fortunate because it's a tough dream to chase. And so now that you're here, what's it kind of like being a D1 athlete and student athlete at that?
It's tough. It's a lot of work academically and on the field. Got to produce in the classroom and on the field, but it's fun. You hanging in with a great group of guys. With great coaches and school here is really good. It's a good academic program. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Also get a degree here soon and also produce in the field. So it's fun.
Do you have any aspirations for your baseball career moving forward past college, or what do you think about joining the workforce?
Kind of either way. If I'm able to have the opportunity to still play pro ball, then that'll be great. And if not, just got to know when to hang them up, and then just be your average working man. So I'm cool either way.
Going, especially I'm sure in your journey, there's some adversities you faced in your baseball career, maybe along with schooling. So what was something that was kind of difficult that you had to deal with in your baseball/student career?
So I've had 3 knee surgeries, unfortunately. The first one happened when it was the fall of my senior year of high school. Right before the season started, I ended up having 2 chipped bones in my knee. They ended up removing one and then tried to reattach the part that was kind of loose. And then so that we thought that would work, and that put me out my senior year. And then so coming here my freshman year, I never really got healthy enough. And then the summer before my sophomore year, after freshman year, I had my second surgery, and that was completely taking out that chip bone they tried to fix and replacing it with a cadaver bone. So they put somebody else's bone in my knee and fixed it like that. And then that ended up working, but the third surgery was kind of just a little scope out a little loose piece of body. And then ever since then, that was beginning of my junior year. So ever since then, I've been fully healthy and then ready to go since. So yeah, those 3 surgeries is probably the toughest thing I've been through as a person.
So what was the rehabilitation process like?
It was long, tough. I almost feel like I never could see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it was all worth it. It made me a stronger person, made me a stronger player, made me a better teammate. to be able to help guys that now are injured, whether they're just banged up, miss a couple of games, or like they also face a tough injury. So it just made me a tougher person.
What's some advice you'd give to someone in that kind of circumstance?
Take it one day at a time. If it's one day you gotta work on getting a single leg squat, moving deeper in that, that's your goal for the day. Get better at that. Where if your goal is to ice for 15 minutes, ice for 20 minutes, make it better. Just take it one day at a time. Don't think about, oh, I'm right here right now, I gotta get to there. Just take it one day at a time and complete smaller goals to complete the bigger goal.
That's great. So going on the other side of that topic, so what's some of the big highlights of you playing here at St. Louis?
Probably my top achievement so far is hitting my first home run last year at LaSalle in Philadelphia, our first collegiate home run, just coming off the bench in a blowout and then just hitting the bomb and seeing all my teammates going crazy, happy for me that I'm able to, go on what I've been through and hitting my first home run. And then this year, just a couple of guys got banged up, then I got an opportunity to play, and then I just making most of it, becoming an everyday starter. So let's say that. And then, can't forget about this, winning the A-10 tournament. Oh, my God. How can I almost forget about that? Yeah, winning the A-10 tournament last year, going 19-4 in conference, I think it was, just being the top team in the conference last year and winning it and playing a regional Ole Miss was also a pretty big highlight for me in my career.
Yeah, so did that give you guys like some confidence and traction moving forward into this season?
Definitely. We graduated a lot of guys last year. A couple of guys went to the draft. So this year our team was pretty much almost a brand new team. And so yeah, it definitely gave us momentum. Always gives us something to strive for. Having a great year we did last year. We're not off. We didn't do as well as we wanted to this year, but we're still in the mix of things, and it just makes us want to fight harder because we know what that postseason baseball tastes like. So it makes us want to fight harder to get back there.
This has me thinking around that time period of 2019 baseball and how much different it was back then. And you fast forward today, and the way you view finance is just as different. The game's changed, the world is ever changing. That's why I'm so glad I invested in Bitcoin. And my brother Ryan connected me with this really awesome guy. His name's Jeremy. He runs the Bitcoin Cash podcast. He even designed his own app. I believe it's pronounced Saline, the Saline wallet. The dude's he knows all of his stuff so well. He's been so friendly, and I'm so glad I made that connection with him from my brother. And he's a wealth of knowledge for anything you got on any questions you got on cryptocurrency. His podcast is high quality, and if you're looking for a crypto investment or to learn more about Bitcoin, I'd really recommend checking out his podcast, the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Thank you, Jeremy, for being a sponsor. All of his information is linked down in the description of the podcast. And that brings us to one of our other sponsors. He is a former baseball player and my current brother, Ryan Giffen. He's one of the co-owners of Ravish Kitchen and Cocktails. If you're one of the local listeners in the West Palm area, it's in downtown Lantana. It's a beautiful spot, great for date night. Or if you're a Yankees fan like me, go drown your fucking sorrows after the year we had, because my God, things need to change. But that's what happy hour's for. And Bitcoin Cash is accepted at Ravish. So yeah. And they always got fun seasonal stuff going on. They're very active on their social media. Make sure to check them out. Ryan and Jeremy, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this podcast. And now back to the rest of the episode.
So with the new team coming forward, and especially as one of the more senior members of the staff, what's that kind of like with all these younger guys going in, coming off a winning season? What was the process of coming together, gelling as a team and a unit?
Well, all that stuff it kind of happens just organically, You just seeing a young guy struggling and say, hey, man, do this, do that. Hey, don't worry about it, shake it off. Or seeing him doing well, hey, keep going, build off of that, So it kind of just happens organically, just showing the new guys hey, we do it like this, we do it like that, just being a leader.
Yeah. So maybe even hang out with them outside of the field or the classroom, get a feel for them.
Definitely, yeah. We definitely, play PlayStation all together, go class, go out to eat together. So, yeah, it's kind of just being an athlete. We're with each other all the time, traveling, road trips, all that good stuff. So just spending time with them and just being brothers at the end of the day.
That's awesome. And so you're the first baseman. So why don't you give us a little insight? What's it like being the first baseman? Give us some details behind that. What's your position like? What are some of your responsibilities?
It's fun. It's just almost every ball that goes to the infield runs to the first baseman at some point, whether it's a double play, whether it's just a regular routine ground ball. You're involved in almost every play in the infield. And it's just fun, you know. If a guy makes a tough play, so got to dig a ball out in the dirt, you know, helping your teammate out, saving errors, and then like also helping your pitcher out if error leads to more pitches. You know, he's got to grind harder. So picking bad throws and just it's fun. And it's an offensive position too. You know, guys expect for you to produce in the batter's box. He's first base is an offensive position, so just going up there and slugging it as well. It's fun.
Yeah, so that gives you a lot of time to work on your swing, and you got some big pop, don't you?
Yeah, I can hit it a little bit.
Yeah, and if you can see that black net in the corner over there, we saw him hit one over in a BP today.
Yeah, just working on, staying up the middle, and I don't know, man, just gotta go pitch the hit and put a good swing to it.
Yeah, so what's some of your approach like then, since you're at more of a power hitting position?
I look to just get balls that I know I can do damage with. I kind of like the ball a little low in the zone to not like really golf it up, but just the way my swing path is just to drive the lower balls and just drive them. And I just consider myself a gap-to-gap hitter with power. I'm not really pull dominant. I'm not really I kind of just wherever the ball's pitched, I just try to put my best swing to it and just get good pitches to hit and know I can do damage with.
All right, so any other baseball anecdotes or parts of your game you'd like to share?
No, I mean, I'm just, I like to have fun. At the end of the day, it's just a game, so I treat it like a game. It's fun, so when it's ride the highs and ride the lows and just go about it every day.
What's advice you give to a high school baseball player looking to make it in a big school?
Just grind every day, man. Just, when you don't think somebody's looking, just keep on grinding. And no matter what, just remember at the end of the day, it's a game. No matter if your career ends in high school, no matter if you're going to be a big leaguer, it's a game at the end of the day. So just make sure you have fun with it, and just play your heart out.
That's some great advice, and thank you for joining us today, Braxton. And thank you to the school for having us here. Anything to say before we go?
Roll Bills.
All right, we'll see you in the next edition of Dugout Chatter. Thanks for joining us.
Well, that brought back some memories. So I remember for that trip, I went on that trip with my buddy Luke Stenley, who I played high school ball with, and we just hopped in my Ford Focus, that's the car I had at the time, drove up to St. Louis. It was a 20-hour drive in a little four-door sedan to do this mini doc. Just the things that you do when you're a teenager that are fun. A boys trip, talk some baseball, watch some baseball, put that together, and it's just interesting comparing the quality of that to what I can do now. And it just shows a lot of growth, and that's what baseball teaches you: patience, hard work, perseverance. And I just remembered a couple of funny stories from that trip. So it was, like I said, about a 20-hour drive. So me and my buddy Stem, we would switch off driving, and we made the back seat into a little makeshift bed. So we just had some pillows and blankets down there. If you weren't driving, you were probably sleeping. And then I remember when we got to the school and we met up with Braxton, and he's like, hey, I'll come around here. We're on the phone. And he hops in the car to show us where to park. And he's like, bro, you guys made a bed back here? We're like, yeah, we switched off sleeping while the other person was driving. He's like, looks pretty fucking comfortable. So just, oh God, that trip was fun. I'd do it all over again. And, around that time, in between shooting, the video to put it all together, and I actually still went back to my old Mac I edited that on. I still have a bunch of B-roll. Like, I got to make it behind the scenes for that. Like, man, that's definitely something I want to do. And so back to my point. One day, Stem and I went to a Cardinals game, and they were playing the Pirates, and it was in May, so the game didn't really mean much. And then Yachty comes up. He's hitting like 7th. He hits like 3 doubles and gets a standing ovation every time. It's like, it's just crazy how passionate the Cardinals fans were for him. Well, still are and always will be. But just seeing that in person, it was really cool watching Yachty play. Just, God, I remember that view from center field. That whole trip was so fun. And my buddy Braxton, he lived with us for a little bit when he was in high school because he was like doing the exchange student thing. And I saw his parents there again. And it was the first time I saw them since, he graduated high school. So it was just awesome to get to see everybody again. Everything about that whole process was so much fun. God, and I just remember when Stem and we got back like into, South Florida. So about 20 hours later, I dropped him off and I'm like, dude, I want to go home and go to bed so bad. Get out of my car. But that was a really awesome trip. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Whether you've been listening to Dugout Chatter since back in the day or now, thank you so much for being here, for tuning in every week. Your guys' support means a lot. This is a really, really fun thing I get to do, and I love getting to talk about baseball and just connecting with all these really amazing people across the baseball world. Until next week, see you on Dugout Chatter.